Back in 1995, Star Wars toys returned to the toy aisle, and some of them we just couldn't wait to get our hands on. So let's look at the 10 most wanted Power of the Force #2 Star Wars action figures. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a very faded KB Toys t-shirt. Don't worry if you get one over at junkmanmerch.com. It's not faded. I've had this one for about 4 years. It's very comfortable, and I like just wearing it. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to look at the 10 most wanted Power of the Force from the 90s action figure line. That's right. Toys came back in 1995 on an orange card. Some people call it a red card. That had a picture of Darth Vader. It was really just a Don Post mask on a card. I don't know why they didn't use really a Darth Vader photo. But anyway, they came out. Then they switched over to green. But we're going to look at the ones before the freeze frame era. So the orange card and the green card figures. Now, I dug around on the internet, mostly the Collectors News Group, going all the way back to 1995, pulled out some of my old toy magazines and toy shop that had want ads in them to see what people was wanting the most, and if a figure was announced, how excited they was for it. So I came over to a list of the 10 most excited ones. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to look at, so let's start at number 10. And I can remember when this one was announced to being part, I think it was Series 3, could have been 2, I think it was 3. And we're talking about the Death Star Gunner. That's right, a badass looking figure. Love the look of this figure. Now, there was one in the original Power of the Force line back in 1985. Most of us didn't have that. We were out of there. We didn't collect a lot of the Power of the Force stuff, and it was very expensive to get. Unless in the 90s, it was like $40. And we were like, who's paying $40 for it now? Now it's a couple hundred. But anyway, this was a cool looking figure, and I think the photos came out at Toy Fair, probably Action Figure News, and some magazines, and the internet got excited. And they always get excited when they release troopers, but they couldn't wait to get this Imperial Gunner. It looked really cool. I even saw some posts of people saying if they're making this, that means they're going to make a new Death Star playset. Well, they didn't. All we got is a stupid hallway. Oh. Number 9 is one I kind of forgot all about. Till I saw all the buzz on the old internet just looking for this. C-3PO, but released in Japan. Now, they kept saying this one had a green tint. I could never really tell. But back then, I was looking at Toy Shop magazine that had black and white photos of it. So that's why I couldn't tell. But even today, I was like, maybe it is kind of green. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell. People spend crazy money for it. I guess it was Japan. It was a little different, but I could never tell a difference. Not enough to warrant the price change. So let's move on to number 8. And this is part of the EU line. Finally, Kenner, or Hasbro now under Kenner, was making expanded universe figures. And we were all excited about it. And fans got really excited to find out there was a Mara Jade figure coming out. And I can remember finding out a bunch of posts. Hey, let me know if you see Mara Jade. Anyone got a Mara Jade? Hey, yeah, buy a Mara Jade. If you see Mara Jade, you know how it is. Girl figures were always hard to find in the collector's community. It was usually 1, maybe 2 per case compared to the other ones. And everyone wanted Mara Jade. She was one of the most popular New Age characters or expanded universe characters. I mean, there's only like 5 very popular EU characters, and she was in the top 2. But everyone wanted this figure and got really excited. Now, I didn't really like the look of it. It looked okay, but I was hoping for something better when I did find it. But of course, I did have to buy 2 of them. Because I'm cool like that. Now at the end of 1996, we got our first new figure. First new figure that was never in a Star Wars movie, but he was added to the special edition, so he's in an old movie. But we got a droid. ASP-7, I forgot his name. ASP-7 Droid. Couldn't wait for this. People got excited because it was something new, something that Kenner couldn't have even done back in the old days, because this was a brand new figure. And we were all excited for this special edition. We were hyped up, and people couldn't wait to get their hands on this figure right here. Pretty cool looking droid. I like that his head kind of moves like that. I kind of like that. It was pretty neat. Now let's get back to the expanded universe, and you can understand why fans were excited to get their hands on this one. Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's right, the Blue Man himself became an action figure, and people could not wait to get this figure. When it was announced that it was coming out, I saw a lot of buzz, and I remember being back in the 90s, oh my god, they're making this, I can't believe it. With the expanded universe line, they were figures we didn't think we would ever get. I mean, at the beginning of the line, we never thought we'd get Thrawn or Mara Jade or stuff from Dark Empire or Heir to the Empire. We just didn't think that. We figured they stick to the movies and then make prequels when the prequels came out. Never thought we'd get action figures based on the comics and books. We were excited. Now we're going to look at one that just has to be on this list. You know it does. Boba Fett. And it's pretty far down the list, but people was really excited. I mean, we got a Boba Fett, and this was our first real Boba Fett figure. The Kenner one we had didn't really look like the movie, but it was pretty cool, don't get me wrong. But this was the first one we were really hyped up for. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. First time as a collector, as a young adult, we were buying Boba Fett. We couldn't wait. When it was announced that Kenner was bringing back Star Wars, he was always at the top of the list. Give us Boba Fett. And Kenner, now under Hasbro, did. They gave us Boba Fett. Wasn't very good. It was okay Boba Fett for the time, but they got better as they went along. And here's one you know is going to be on the list, because people were begging for this also when they announced it was going to be a new line. Princess Leia slave outfit. Now, this called Prisoner. What's it called? Jabba's Prisoner. In fact, I never heard the term slave outfit until probably like into the 2000s or something. Growing up in the 80s, we never called it a slave outfit. It was like the gold bikini, we might say that. I never heard the term slave outfit until into the 2000s or something. I don't know when that came up and started. Might be a good video to research. When did that start? At least I have an excuse to look at a lot of pictures of Princess Leia in her slave outfit. Anyway, this figure is one that people couldn't wait to get. When it was first announced they were making toys, of course, give us that. Give us Slave Leia. We didn't think we would get it. You know, people say it's too risque. They still say that today, but we got it. We bought it. We loved it. And it was a good looking figure. It was a really good looking figure. And of course, you know, another one they were screaming, knocking down the doors for, asking for was Tarkin. Finally, we got a Tarkin. Kenner knew we wanted this so bad, they even put it on the package. First time in any Kenner collection. Because they knew, even people was like, give us Tarkin, give us Tarkin. You know, Slave Leia, they didn't put it on the package. But people couldn't wait to get this Tarkin. And you can understand why. A lot of people love Tarkin. They didn't get to play with him as a kid. But now you could play with Tarkin's Tarkin. That's right, you could play with Tarkin. The internet, the collectors, everyone was excited. But they wasn't excited at the number 2 figure. Troopers always get on the list, man. People love their troopers. The Sandtrooper. Now, growing up, I never remember wanting a Sandtrooper. I never really thought much. I just thought Stormtrooper. And I had an orange thing. I never even thought about it. But as I got older, I was like, man, that would have been a cool figure with the big backpack on his back, the big gun, the orange on his shoulder. And Kenner was listening to us when we were all screaming, that's what we want in the new series. And they gave it to us. They even sprayed painted some dirt on it. And people were buying these by the buttload. They were making army builders with it and everything. It was a nice looking figure. For its time, it's a little bulky like the toys of this era. But it's a nice looking figure. It looks really good with his backpack. And hey, get this. It would actually stand up. Hasbro, take note. It would stand up even with the backpack on it. Crazy, I know. So what was the action figure from the early days of the 90s collecting that people wanted? No surprise here. The first Melloway figure from the 90s. Han Solo in his Stormtrooper outfit. This was the perfect storm coming together. First, you got a Melloway. That gets collectors, fans happy. A Melloway. And it's Han Solo in his Stormtrooper outfit. We didn't get that in the original line. We got Luke, we never got Han. So it was a figure on everyone's list of, hey, give us a Stormtrooper Han Solo. So we got that, a Melloway. Everything was perfect. The internet, the toy magazines, the toy ads, everyone was hyped up. You had it, you were selling it, raking back the money. You were sending off proof of purchases to get 2 or 3. You were using your home address, your grandma's address, your friends down the road address, anyone you could, so you get multiples of it. Everyone wanted this figure, but it exploded with collectors wanting to find the Han Solo Stormtrooper outfit. I can remember the first time I walked in the grocery store and I saw it. Me and my buddy Russ was right there. We were fitting to hit Kmart and we walked in there just to see, and there was Fruit Loops with Han Solo on it for an action figure. It was a good time. I miss the 90s. I do. Man, it was a lot of fun collecting in the 90s. I know we rag on these orange card figures and the muscles of them and everything, but they were a lot of fun. I kind of miss them. Well, that's a look at the 10 most wanted 90s action figures. So let me know, any of these on your list? Were you excited to find these? When you find out these were announced, were you excited? Were you going into the toy store every day hoping to find them? Let me know that and more in the comments below. And as always, how much you like my content, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.